All right, let's do some Mathity-Math. It says here, every month, the number of friends Max has on social networking site increases by 21%. Okay. And it says if he has 30 friends on the 1st of January, and we'll explain this use of zero in a second, how many friends does he have on the 1st of January 1 year later? Give your answer to the nearest integer. Okay, so the first thing that's kind of interesting here is, on the 1st of January, he has 30 friends. His friends will increase by 21% after 1 month. So nothing happens for a whole month, right? So that's why we kind of use, in this case, we can think of this as like use of zero. It's another way of saying it's like nothing has happened yet. Okay, so after a month, something happens. What happens? He has 21% more friends. Okay, so let's see what this means. I'm going to write this down just so I know what's going on. Okay, so first things first, this is going to be our common ratio, or this is what it's growing by, but we don't typically use percentages. We usually convert this over to a decimal. Okay, so that's how you write 21% as a decimal. And you guys know this. Where it gets interesting is if you think about it, if I multiplied, if I said, hey, I'm going to go find u sub 1. And you say, well, I know a geometric series, and I know if I take this and multiply it by my common ratio, I'll get my next number. And I know it's going up because it says increasing. Well, watch this. If I said 30 times 0.21, oh, wow, it's smaller. That doesn't make sense, right? And that's why we have to be careful. When things are increasing, and particularly when we use these percentages, remember, you have to include your 30 friends you had to build off of in the first place. And this also just kind of goes to the thought of multiplication, right? If you multiply by a number smaller than 1, the number will get smaller. If you multiply by 1, nothing happens. And if you multiply by a number bigger than 1, it will grow. So while this is a good conversion, in reality, the R value we want to be using is 1.21, right? And then we could find our first term. We would say 30 times 1.21, and you're going to get 36.3. Now, I completely acknowledge that having 0.3 friends makes no sense. I get it. But for the sake of the math, let's just continue on, okay? And like I say, I get it. We're not cutting up people and pretending their leg is now my friend. That's totally gross and weird. I get it. So here we go. But we got to go through here 12 iterations because there's 12 months in a year, right? Because it says every month. So in reality, we're trying to figure out how many friends does Max have at u sub 12. Now, at this point, hypothetically, yes, you could just do this times 1.21 times 1.21 times 1.21. I get that. You could do that, but we're better than that because we have our awesome formula booklet. We can just use this information right here. So I just say I'm going to use u sub n is u sub 1r n minus 1. That's my formula, and it's given to me. Why not use it? So instead of u sub n, I'm going to say u sub 12. Okie dokie. Instead of u sub 1, I say 36.3. Now we're cooking. I know my rate is 1.21. And now it says n minus 1. Well, I said n is 12. 12 minus 1 is 11. And there you go. It's set up for you beautifully. Isn't that nice? So now we just got to do some math. Here we go. We can just type this whole thing in, right? You just say 36.3. Choop, choop. 1.21 raised to the 11th power. You can see what I put in is exactly what I got. They're there. And I get 295.49, yada, yada, yada. Okay, and that's why the question said round to the nearest integer. So, Max has 295 friends on social media after 1 year. Okie dokie. Fantastic. All right, as always, if you got any questions or anything that you didn't quite understand, you can leave a question in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer for you and your friends. I'm always putting up new videos and stuff for you guys to practice, so if you want to get notified, you can subscribe and I think it'll notify you. If not, I'll just try to remind you when I add stuff, or just go to the playlist and watch it as it grows. All right, bye.